Welcome all Yoga Teacher followers. Today we'll be doing a full pregnancy yoga sequence. So it's completely modified for specifically more so that second trimester, but is also capable of doing for the third trimester as well. And obviously the first too, but it has some more modifications that you can't always do in the first trimester. So I hope that you enjoy yourselves. Let's find a nice comfortable seat on your mat, sitting up tall. Centering your shoulders directly over your hips, your head directly over your heart. And start by taking in deep and full breaths in through the nostrils and back out. Coming into this present moment, allowing your shoulders to fall away from their ears, creating space. And today's pranayama breathing exercise is going to be a connecting breath from our heart space down to our womb space. So you can place your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your tummy or towards the lower part of your tummy, closer to your womb. And I just want you to close your eyes and just notice your breath. Slowly start to increase the length of your inhalations and your exhalations. Feel your heartbeat underneath your hand. Feel your baby underneath your right hand. Just say hello. And now for every breath, I want you to visualize love stemming from your heart space, going down into your womb space, giving pure and unconditional love to your baby. And we're just going to take several rounds of breath here. Maybe you come up with an intention of your own for practice today. A message that you'd like to convey to your baby maybe, or something that you would like to feel within your body. Maybe it's letting go of some thoughts that are no longer serving you. Some anxieties or insecurities, perhaps about your pregnancy, that you just truly know in your heart that everything will be okay. Take 3 more rounds of breath. When you're ready, you can slowly allow your hands to come to the tops of your thighs. And we're going to find a cobbler's pose, just a little bit more of a hip opening seated position. So you're just going to place your bottoms of your feet facing one another, allowing your legs to go towards the sides. And you can determine how close you like to bring your feet in or out towards your groin. The closer it is towards your pelvic region, the more opening you'll feel within your hip space. And again, just lengthen your spine up tall here. And you release the neck. And we're going to do a gentle twist. Now in pregnancy, especially towards the later part, we don't want to cut off any type of circulation from our lower half up to our upper half. So today I want our gentle twist to be more in the upper part of our spine and our neck region, so we can still feel that release of energy, but we're not going as deep into the twist to get into maybe pulling or tugging at the uterus or cutting off any circulation. So today is just going to be nice and gentle and really tune in and listen to your body. So let's take a deep inhalation and sweep your arms up overhead. And we're going to twist off towards the right first. So on an exhale, bring your left hand towards your right thigh and your right hand back behind you for a prop. And you can just place it right on your kneecap region again to not go too deep into this twist. We're really just trying to twist into that upper part of our back and to our neck, keeping our bellies facing the front. Still feeling that release of tension. Take another deep inhalation. And on your exhale, let's bring our heart space back towards center and end with the crown of our head. Beautiful. Let's twist off towards the left side this time. So we'll inhale again, our arms reach up. And exhale, twisting off. Our right hand comes to our left thigh. Left hand is back behind us for a prop. Again, we're trying to keep our torso towards the front, but we're reaching our chest and our neck backwards for a twist in our upper thoracic region. Take one more deep inhalation. And again, return towards center, starting with your heart space and ending with the crown of your head. Let's switch things up a little bit with our legs. If you're feeling a little stagnancy, we're going to be moving into more of a cow pose. And don't worry if your legs aren't lining up perfectly towards one another. But essentially, we're going to have our right leg beneath and our left leg is going to be on top. You're just going to draw your right thigh so that it's coming out in front of you in line with your center. And then you're going to attempt to draw this left leg over and atop your right leg. Your heels can come in as close as that feels comfortable. And again, don't worry too much if they're not, completely centered over one another. But now we're feeling the stretch along the outer edges of our hips and down our legs. Still put down both sit bones on the mat. And just breathe. Just feeling this out. And let's get our arms into it as well. So we're going to do eagle arms, where we're going to wrap our right arm around our left. And we're going to draw our elbows so that they're in line with our shoulders, and we're going to press our palms of our hands away from our face. Sometimes in this pose it likes to come towards our face. We're going to draw that away. You're going to feel this opening in your upper back. Take another deep inhalation. And then then let's exhale, unravel yourself and your legs. For this next side, I'm just going to turn towards the side so you can get a better view, but you can stay where you are. We're going to slowly draw our left leg, have that be on the bottom now, drawing it to the center of our body, and then we're going to wrap our right leg around, over and around our left. Again, your right heel might want to split it a little bit wider. That's perfectly okay. Center your spine up over your hips, lengthening out long towards the crown of your head. And just feel this out for a breath or two. Let's bring in with our eagle arms as well. So this time our left hand is going to go underneath and wrap around our right. Our palms are going to attempt to go in facing one another, in line with each other. And again, we're going to draw our elbows up so that they're in line with our shoulders. We're going to allow our hands to come away from our face. And just breathe, feeling the opening in our upper back and our outer hips. Take another deep inhalation and use your exhale to unwind everything and come back towards a comfortable seated position. Beautiful. Let's make our way to all fours and then up towards standing so we can do some sun salutations. We're finding whatever way that will be most comfortable for us to get there. Starting at the top of your mat, having your feet a bit wider than hip width distance, grounding your feet into the earth. We're going to inhale, raise your arms up overhead, and exhale, fold forward. You might have to adjust your stance according to the size of your belly, but focus on hinging your hips so that you can reach your sit points up towards the ceiling and bring the crown of your head down towards the mat. It's perfectly okay to have a micro bend in your knees. And just release here. On your next inhalation, let's lift up to a halfway position, creating a nice 90-degree angle with our full body. We reach the crown of our head forward. And on our next exhale, we're going to release down, plant our hands on the mat. We can either step back towards more of an all-four position or plank if you'd like. Today, let's go for more of all fours. Your legs can be a little bit farther back than your hips because we're going to try to do a chaturanga. So it's more of a female version of a plank pose. You're just going to exhale, lower yourself down, hugging your elbows in. Inhale up to your cobra or your upward facing dog, keeping your belly off the mat if your belly is really a little bit bigger now. And you're going to exhale, engage your core and lift your hips up and back to your first downward facing dog. You might have to again adjust the stance according to the size of your belly. Just slowly lower one heel and then the next. Allowing again your hamstrings to stretch, awakening up the body. We raise our hip points up high towards the ceiling. Our spine goes down long towards the mat. We spread our fingertips out wide to evenly distribute the weight. And our body becomes more of a mountain shape. You can slowly bring your heels, allowing them to sink down towards the earth. It's okay if they don't touch the floor. And on your next inhalation, engage your core and tent your fingertips up so you can walk yourself back towards a forward fold once again. Exhale fully once you get there. Inhale, let's lift up towards a halfway lifted position. Exhale, release back down. Ground down through your feet and maybe even bend your knees a little bit, and then use the strength from your legs to lift yourself all the way up, arms reach. Exhale, hands come towards your heart. We're going to repeat that 2 more times. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, release down, and let's walk ourselves out to a plank pose. You can stay up higher, or if you'd like to lower your legs down on the mat. Stay here for an inhale breath, and exhale, lower yourself down, chaturanga. Elbows hug in. Inhale up to your cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, engaging your core to lift you up and back, downward facing dog. Take a breath. On your next inhalation, tent up your fingertips, engage your core, and walk yourself back once again, forward fold. Exhale completely. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, release back down. Ground down through your feet, find that strength from your floor, and then lift yourself up. Exhale, hands come toward heart. If you ever feel a little bit dizzy from moving up and down, you can place your hands towards your third eye, close your eyes, and this definitely centers me. Preparing for our last sun salutation, let's inhale, arms reach up, and exhale, hinging forward, we release down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Walk yourself out to your plank pose. Staying lifted or knees down. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale up, cobra or upward facing dog. And then lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog with the exhale. Take a breath. On your next inhalation, tent your fingertips, engage your core, and walk yourself back once again, forward fold. Exhale completely. Inhale up, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Ground down through your feet, lift yourself all the way up towards standing again. Arms reach up. Exhale, hands come towards heart. Beautiful. Let's walk up to the front of our mat. We're going to be preparing for a chair pose. So typically chair pose, you have your legs pretty much touching one another, but again, we want to give space towards our belly. So let's just widen our stance, either just a hip width distance or maybe a little bit wider apart. Again, find your grounding within your feet. And then we're going to sink our hips back, bringing your arms up overhead, making sure that our knees don't go past our toes. We can still see our big toe. But imagining as though you're sitting in a chair. Your pelvis is neutral, your spine is lengthening up long. You have integrity within your core as it's engaged. Your palms are facing one another. You feel the energy swirling within your legs. Maybe you sink a little bit deeper and raise your toes off the mat. Now you really feel the grounding within your feet. Slowly lower your toes one by one back down, starting with your pinky toes, ending with your big toe. And let's do some arm work right here. So on an inhale breath, let's open up our arms towards cactus. Exhale, close them in. Inhale, open them up. Exhale, close them in. One more time, inhale, open. Exhale, close. Reach back out towards chair pose. And then shift your weight into your left foot. We're going to step our way back towards our first warrior one. Anchoring down through our back right heel. Hugging muscle to bone all the way up into our hip point and having a nice deep bend in our front left leg. Still being able again to see our big toe. We raise our arms up overhead. Finding strength in our foundation to help us lift up even higher. Let's bring our arms back behind us, allowing our chest to come forward. We clasp our hands, feeling that release in our upper back as well. So we open up our chest. From here, you can decide if you'd like to take a humble warrior, which is simply hinging from the hips. We're going to lower our bellies down towards our thighs. The crown of our head reaches down towards the earth and our arms go up overhead. Breathe here. On your next inhalation, engage your core and lift yourself back up. Unclasp your hands and raise your arms back up once again. Beautiful. From here, let's open up and towards a warrior two. So we're gonna step our right foot now in line with our left, a heel to arch alignment. We're gonna still have that steep bend in our front knee. We're gonna open our arms out towards the side. Our hips are now facing the side, not towards our left leg. We're going to inhale, flip our grip, and lift our fingertips up and back towards a peaceful warrior. Reaching our right arm down long towards our thigh. Our gaze is up at our left fingertips. Breathing into the side body here. Take another deep inhalation, and let's come back towards warrior two. Straighten that front knee. Let's bring both feet so that they're parallel to one another. Our hands can come towards our hips, and again, we have a nice neutral pelvis as we lift our spine up tall overhead. We're going to be moving into a wide-legged forward fold. So from here, we inhale, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, hinge at our hips. We lower ourselves down. Wide-legged forward fold. Might have to adjust your stance here. Lowering the crown of your head towards the earth. Your hands can come in line with your feet. Maybe you sway from side to side. Maybe you just want to find stillness. Listen to your body, to what it needs today. Take a few more breaths here. Let's walk our torso out long so that we're coming to more of a half way lifted position. Our hands are underneath our face. We're going to engage your core and bring our hands up towards our hips. From this point, we're going to lift ourselves upwards on an inhale breath. That core engagement helps to protect our lower back. From here, we're going to move to the back of our mat so we can do the warriors on the other side. So your right foot is now facing the front or back of your mat, and you're going to bring yourself towards that warrior one. So your feet are not in alignment anymore, they're more on like a railroad track. You're gonna anchor down through that back left heel. Again, might have to adjust the stance. Have a nice deep bend in your front right knee, and find that solid foundation to help lift yourself up. Arms reach up overhead. Feeling proud and open here. Feeling strong and powerful. Let's clasp our hands back behind us once again, opening up our chest and relieving that tension in our upper back. We can stay right here, or if you'd like to join me, we can come towards a humble warrior. On an exhale breath, let's hinge at our hips and lower our bellies towards our thighs. Our right shoulder's coming towards our right thigh. Crown of our head is reaching down towards the earth, and our arms are reaching up towards the sky. Still anchoring down through that back left heel. You find a sense of release. Let's engage our core, and on our next inhalation, lift yourself back upwards. Unclasp your hands and raise your arms up once again, warrior one. Let's find warrior two from right here. So this time we're opening again, our hips open towards the side. We find a heel to arch alignment now, but our feet are perpendicular towards one another. We open our arms up, and our gaze is past our right fingertips. It is said that our back hand is reaching for the past, and our front hand is reaching towards the future. You're gazing out at your future, but you're feeling gratitude for being in the present moment. Letting go of the past, reaching for your goals, but also being mindful in the moment right now. Let's flip our grip and lift our right fingertips up towards the sky, left fingertips down towards our thigh for a peaceful warrior. Gaze is upwards. We breathe into that side body. Beautiful. Let's come back towards warrior two. Straighten that front knee once again. Bring our feet so that they're parallel to one another. Just as a transition, we're going to be moving into some squats now. It's very important to have a lower leg strength and build up an opening in our hip pelvic region for birth. So we're actually going to tilt our heels inwards and point our toes out towards the side. We're might again have to adjust the stance to what's most comfortable to you, but it still should be a little bit wider than hip width distance. Let's bring our hands towards our heart, and we are going to do 5 rounds of simply inhale to lower, bring your hands up towards our third eye, exhale to push off, back up towards standing. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Inhale, 3, Inhale, 4. Inhale, 5. Beautiful. Let's try this again, but just our arms in a different way. Bring our arms out towards a cactus. And on an inhale, we're going to close them in. Exhale out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. Let's try that one more time. We're simply going to bring our whole body into it. So just making it feel a little more fluid. Let's inhale, arms reach up, exhale, lower. Let's go for 10 this time. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, we're going to sink ourselves down, bring your hands back towards your heart. Just hold here. And feeling the energy swirling within our legs, we make sure we have a nice alignment from our knees. We still see our front toes. We stay here for as long as we can, breathing into that energy. Take another deep inhalation. And use your exhale to lift yourself back up. Great job. Let's really open up our hips now. We're going to be coming into more of a Hindi squat. So we're going to have to close our stance up a little bit. Still just a tad wider than hip width distance though. You're going to attempt to sink your seat down in between your feet. You're going to press your elbows into the inner parts of your thighs. Bring your hands towards your heart. Your spine is lengthening up tall. I'll show you how it's a nice flat back. You're not rounding here. And you just feel this stretch opening up in your lower part of your pelvic region and building that strength still within our thighs. So we anchor down through our feet. It's okay if your heels are coming off the mat. There's another option to have even a blanket underneath your heels if they do rise up so that you can still feel that groundedness. Just roll it underneath your heels. We're just going to breathe here, sinking in. Coming back to our intention. You're giving a smile. Let's do another gentle twist. So we're going to lower our right hand down towards the mat, coming towards, it's like diagonally in line with our right toes. And we're going to inhale our left arm up, reaching upwards. Again, it's really just our upper back that's twisting here. Gaze is up at our left fingertips. We inhale for another breath. Exhale, come back towards center. Let's drop our left hand diagonally in line with our left feet. We're going to inhale, open up towards the right. Gazing up at the right fingertips. We inhale for another deep inhalation. And exhale, come back towards center. Let's drop our hands towards the mat. Come down towards our knees. And we're going to sink into a child's pose. So you can bring your knees out towards the wide edge part of your mat. Your toes are pointing in. And you're going to just sink your hips back over your heels. Reaching your arms forward. You fully surrender yourself down into the earth. Resting your forehead on the mat. Nestling your belly in between your legs. And just breathing.
take about 3 more rounds of breath here. Using your next inhalation, you can look up towards your hands, raise your hips back up. Let's just bring our knees underneath our hips and do a couple cat-cows to undulate the spine. So our fingertips are spread out wide on our mat here still to evenly distribute that weight. We have a nice strong flat back in tabletop position. But on our next inhalation, we're going to tilt our tailbone up and gaze is upwards as well. We're not going to go too deep in sinking our bellies towards the mat because our abdominals are already kind of stretching right now. On an exhale, we're going to round our tailbone down towards the mat, creating a nice upper arch with our back. The crown of our head is down and our gaze is towards our navel. Inhale again, dip your belly slightly, but focus on the tailbone tilting up and the gaze reaching up as well. Shining your heart forward. We exhale again, round for cat. Gazing at the navel, feeling your tension release off your upper part of your back. Go through a couple more rounds at your own pace. Let's meet in a nice tabletop position once again. This time we're going to plant our left hand directly below our face. We're going to inhale our right arm all the way up, and exhale, we're going to thread our right arm underneath our left, dropping our shoulder towards the mat. Our hips are pointing upwards. We reach our left arm in front of us. Really nice shoulder stretch here. Bring your left hand back towards your face. Engage your core and use your next inhale to raise yourself all the way back up. Right arm reaches up. Exhale, plant that right hand down, replacing it with your left. Use your next inhalation to draw your left arm all the way up towards the sky. And your exhale to thread that arm underneath, reaching out across your chest and raising your right arm overhead as your hips lift up towards the ceiling. Belly is down towards your thighs, and you release. When you're ready, let's bring our right hand back towards our face. Engage your core and use your next inhalation to lift yourself upwards. Left arm up, reaches up. Using the exhale to plant both hands on the mat. Let's swing our feet off to one side, finding a nice comfortable seat once again. We're going to do some pelvic floor exercises now, as it's very important to strengthen those muscles before and after labor. Now, it's not an exercise that we're going to be visually able to see. We're essentially doing Kegels, where you're lifting and holding your pelvic floor muscles, and then you release them out. It's as though you're trying to stop yourself from peeing, if that has to happen, and then just releasing that out. So how we're going to do this is we're going to connect it with our breath. So let's just take a couple normal breaths.
again, centering our shoulders over our hips, our head is over our heart. And again, you're not going to be visually able to see this because it's going to be all within. So you can have your eyes closed, maybe again, draw yourself inwards. And we're going to do several rounds in a couple different ways. So let's just start just to feel what this feels like. On your exhalation, sometimes this muscle is actually very tight all the time. So let's, on our next exhale, just fully release everything, allowing all stress to melt, allowing your pelvic floor to open and relax. And on your next inhalation, let's lift our pelvic floor up and just hold it in for your full inhalation. And use your exhale to release that. Again, inhale, lifting your pelvic floor, doing that Kegel, or as though pinching off so that you would not pee. And then exhale, release that. Let's do that 5 more times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale, inhale, and exhale, inhale, and exhale. Beautiful. This time we're going to again take 5 breaths on the same duration, but we're going to just continue pulsing that pelvic floor. So just again guide us through the breath, but just continue to pulse here and do continuous Kegels. All right, so let's inhale and exhale. 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 Great job. This next time we're going to again use our breath, but we're going to change the level of tightness that we are going to be doing. We're going to do more of a pyramid, so we're going to take 1 breath, holding it in for the inhalation, and you're going to exhale, release. On the next breath, we're going to count up to 2, and you're going to slightly clench. And then on the second count, you're going to clench even more. And then exhale, release just a little bit. And then second count, fully relax. And again, the same thing for the third, but just doing it in 3 different rounds. All right. So again, close your eyes, connect from within. Let's inhale, hold, and exhale, release. Inhale, clench halfway. 2, clench even higher, and exhale, release a little bit, exhale fully. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, exhale, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, exhale, 1. Let's try that again. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, 1, 2, exhale, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, exhale to 1. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Inhale 1, 2. Exhale 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2. Exhale 2, 1. Inhale and exhale. Great job. And it's a great idea to practice these pelvic floor exercises daily if we can, along with a multitude of squats. As again, these are the main areas that we're going to be focusing on when getting ready for labor. Let's fully wind down now. Bring your feet out in front of you. Let's slowly lower ourselves down onto the mat. If you have a blanket, you can place it underneath your back if you'd like. We're just going to do some bridge poses to do a little bit of an inversion, allowing the blood to rush in the opposite direction. Let's bring our heels up towards our buttocks. Our arms are going down long towards our heels. And on an inhale breath, we're going to root down through our feet, and we're going to lift our hips up towards the sky, arching our chest up towards our chin, and then reaching our chin up towards the sky as well. Really activating our glutes and our hamstrings to help lift our hip points upwards. You have your core engaged to protect your spine, and you feel your heart shining upwards. Your legs are drawing in towards the center, not splaying out towards the sides. Take another deep inhalation. Use your exhale to lower yourself down vertebrae by vertebrae and fully rest your spine on the mat. Take a couple breaths here. Let's prepare for our second round. Again, grounding down through our heels. We're gonna inhale, lift our hip points upwards. Bring your chest towards our chin up towards the sky. If you'd like to intensify this slightly, we can clasp our hands underneath. And this helps to, again, allow our chest to pop a little bit higher up. Take another deep inhalation. And use your exhale and clasp your hands and slowly lower yourself down onto the mat, fully imprinting your spine there at the bottom. We'll go through one last round. Preparing, again, reaching our hands down towards our heels. We'll inhale, ground down through our feet, lift our hips upwards. Maybe clasp our hands if we'd like. Really shine that heart as your chin reaches upwards. Having our glutes and our hamstrings engaged, hip points reaching up towards the sky. Take another deep inhalation and use your exhale to fully release. Beautiful. From here, let's just do some gentle twists once again by bringing our feet to the outer edges of our mat. And we're going to bring our hands out towards a T or more cactus arms, bending them 90 degrees. And with our breath, we're going to use our exhalation to drop our legs off towards one side. Inhale them back up. And exhale them off in the opposite direction. Again, going through this at your own pace. Staying in one side that feels really good. Moving through the other if it doesn't. A little bit quicker. And listening to your body. Maybe you've been dealing with some lower back pain or sciatica, and this
motion on our lower back and our hip region will hopefully be a nice release. Your gaze can go with it, where the direction that your legs are, your head can look off in the opposite direction. Go through a couple more rounds. Slowly bring yourself back towards center. And we're going to prepare for a full Shavasana. So, especially if you're in your second and third trimester, this is where we're going to be going off onto our side. You can use your arm as a pillow. If you have a blanket, once again, you can place it in between your legs so that you have a little bit of extra cushioning. If you're still in your first trimester, you can still lay down on your back. Wherever we are, let's fully surrender ourselves. Allowing ourselves to bathe in this stillness. If any thoughts arise, simply acknowledge them and allow them to pass. And come back to your breath. Come back to your intention. You can stay in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. So if you'd like to pause the video for a couple more minutes of stillness, please do so. Otherwise, if you're running out of time, let's slowly lift yourselves back up towards a seated position. Again, centering your heart on top of our pelvis and our head over our heart. Let's bring our hands in Anjali Mudra. And I invite you to join me in the universal vibration of Om. So let's take a nice inhalation together, a complete exhalation, and inhale to prepare. The light within me honors and respects the light within you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this prenatal yoga class. Look for some more versions in the future, and I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you so much.